Hello, BookTube. This is Aaron from Aaron Read a Book or Aaron Read a Book. I'm just doing a weird little video today on a list. Um, and I saw there was quite a few videos recently about the New York Times top 100 books list that was done by critics, and then there was sort of an outcry, so they did one by readers, and it reminded me of and I want to talk about 2003 because my finger is on the pulse of modern Britain. But it was the Big Read, which was a year-long survey of the nation's favourite books in the UK, and sort of before widespread availability of the internet, so you had to ring in, I think, and vote. And there was like loads of celebrities trying to get people to vote for their favorite book and stuff. There was little clips, and it was, yeah, so it was a year-long survey, and 750,000 people voted for it. And the top 200 is still available, and for some reason we were discussing this at my workplace the other day because we're weirdos, and we created a spreadsheet. And because we're nerds, we put loads of formulas and stuff in as well, tick boxes and things, to see how many we'd read. And I'd read 83, and I was like the fourth highest in the office because my office is full of crazy avid readers, and a lot of them have children, and a lot of this list was children's books. And I just want to go through it a little bit and discuss how weird it is as a survey because, and it is really a snapshot of 2003, like the New York Times one is a snapshot of this year, with like what was number one, that Barbara Kingsolver one, Demon Copperhead. There's no way Demon Copperhead will be number one in 10 years. But let's go through what this was a kind of deeper survey, with because it was year long, and it was asking you what your favorite was, and it wasn't limited to the 21st century. It was limited to only novels, so no Shakespeare. But I'll quickly run through the top 10, and I'll show you them on screen. One was Lord of the Rings, which, fair enough, it's great book, probably is the best. Two, Pride and Prejudice, again, very good. His Dark Materials, that's one that I wonder if there's, maybe there is still a great fondness for it in the UK because the recent TV adaptation. For Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, I imagine that would still be top 10. Harry Potter, obviously this was like peak Harry Potter. 6, To Kill a Mockingbird, that would have been my vote. Winnie the Pooh, 1984, The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, and Jane Eyre. So I think they're all quite, they will all be high ranking even now, I think. As you go down into the rest of the top 200, I'm just gonna check. What's really interesting is A, who's there a lot, and B, who's not there. The most extraordinary thing about this survey is there is no Agatha Christie book in this top 200, which is insane to me. There's no Sherlock Holmes in the top 100 either. He doesn't come into the second 200. The power of children's books in this, a lot of children voted in it, is obvious because the people with the most novels in it, out of 200 novels, 15 are Terry Pratchett, which I am very happy about because I love Terry Pratchett, and he's the reason I got into reading, and I think a lot of people at that time felt the same way. I doubt Terry Pratchett's getting 15 novels in there nowadays. 14, Jacqueline Wilson, who's still active. I didn't even know the name Jacqueline Wilson, and she's got 14 novels in there, but I do know, I did know is it Dory the Wimpy Kid? No, it's not Dory the Wimpy Kid, is it? It's Tracy Beaker. I do know that. So but I think they were more for little girls, so I didn't really read those. 9, Roald Dahl, probably would still get in there quite a lot. 7, Charles Dickens. Victorian White is very, very rare on this list. There's no Gaskell, for example. 4 Thomas Hardy. I'm surprised that there's so many Hardy. 4 J.K. Rowling as well. 3 Jane Austen. Anthony Horowitz. So I don't really know. Stephen King. That he'd be a lot more in America, I imagine. Maybe a lot more now as well because we're more Americanized than we were in 2003. Also 3 John Steinbeck, which a lot of people read those at school, so that's normal. 2 George Eliots, John Irvin, Gabriel Garcia Marquez, George Orwell, J.R.R. Tolkien, and Leo Tolstoy. There's no way that more people love War and Peace, which is quite high in this list, than an Agatha Christie book. Agatha Christie is the most successful author of all time, so it's very weird. I guess you're less likely to say, "Oh, my favourite book is," and then there were none, or anything, or maybe Agatha Christie wasn't very popular at this time, and then came back in. But yeah, I just think this survey is a very interesting look at 2003. There's lots of books on there that I'd never even really heard of. Let me just see with the first one that I haven't really heard of. Number 61, Noughts and Crosses by Mallory Blackburn. I don't really know that book. I'm happy to see The Shell Seekers at number 50, which is one of my favourite reads of this year. Again, there's no way, surely, I don't know, Rosamund Pilcher, is she still big in the public? I know Gina Stanier has done a lot for her, but I don't know. Number 67, The Magus by John Fowles. Don't know that book. The Ragged Trousered Philanthropists. Don't know that book. Another book that's very interesting that's in there for me is number 89, Magician by Raymond E. Feast. There's no way that's getting in there now. There's no Robert Jordan, which is interesting, but there is Raymond E. Feast. So interesting fantasy choice, because that book is from about the early 90s, so it's surprising it's still doing well then, although it's good series. Number 96, Cain and Abel by Jeffrey Archer. Is Jeffrey Archer still getting in? This was probably after or he went to jail as well, I don't know. But yeah, interesting. Have a look on the list and tell me in the comments below how many you've read and what you think is missing. Dracula and Frankenstein are not in the top 100. That's another big one. I think you'd probably see Normal People by Sally Rooney pretty high nowadays, and lots of other stuff. I think probably my Brilliant Friend would be in there. But yeah, there's loads of stuff that's happened since 2003. Let me know what you think. It's also quite funny to look at. There's some of the videos on YouTube about this from like 2003, is like people from Top Gear trying to get you to vote for people and stuff, and quite funny to watch. But yeah, let me know if you remember the big read, if you're an old person like me, and how many you've read, and are there any on there that you want to read. Have a good one, BookTube. Bye.